Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. It is Wednesday, the 16th day of November, 2022. Clive Walsh here, and it's time for the reading of our devotional thought for today, coming from the book Truth for Life by pastor and author Alistair Begg. Today's devotional thought is entitled, A Call to Purposeful Work. That's A Call to Purposeful Work. And the verses today, Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24, which reads, Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. That's Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24. Alistair Begg writes, Work is a part of God's creative design and therefore part of our purpose in life. Work exists from the fall. God gave Adam and Eve the garden to work it and keep it. Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. We were not fashioned to sit around and do nothing. Rather, we were made in the image of God who loves to work and create. The New Testament writers expect believers to work, not only to imitate our Creator, but also to help cases of urgent needs and not to be unfruitful. That's Titus chapter 3, verse 14. This call to healthy work is not beyond our grasp. It is not an exhortation to the superhuman. Instead, it is an invitation to live quietly, mind your own affairs, and work with your own hands. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11. So that we may provide not only for ourselves, but also for those who are in particular need. Life's routine activities are divine providences for us to work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. In all of our everyday responsibilities and commitments, whether they involve investing millions or changing diapers, working at a factory assembly line, or plowing a field, or sitting in a boardroom, we can view them as the very instruments God will use for His purposes and to glorify His name. Working hard within the bounds God has ordained for us eliminates worry concerning the work of the person next to us. After all, we're not the ones keeping the score, and neither are they. God, who is pleased when we work diligently at the task He has appointed for us, is the one who will give the rewards on the day we stand before Him. It is His approval of our work and how we think about it and conduct ourselves in it that matters, not primarily that of our bosses, our colleagues, or ourselves. In Paul's instructions, we find no loopholes. It is a straightforward exhortation to work, and to work hard. Elsewhere in Scripture, Paul encourages Timothy also to command fellow believers to provide for their relatives, especially for members of their own household, quote, so that they may be without reproach. End of quote. And that's 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 7. The implication is clear. When grace is at work in our lives, we will be committed to meeting the needs of our dependents and those who are in need. You are made in the image of God and created for good works, no matter what your station in or stage of life. You have work to do today in God's creation. Be sure to do it heartily, to the best of your ability. Be sure to do it with godliness, caring for God's good opinion more than anyone else's. And be sure to do it joyfully, however mundane, repetitious, or challenging it may be, for in doing so, you are serving Christ and bringing glory to His name. That is enough to transform any task into something glorious. And truly may you be found working the work of God to His glory today, no matter what it is, knowing this, that He is pleased with you, His child. Well, that's the reading of our devotional thought for today. a call to purposeful work. And for those of you continuing your reading through the Word, 1 Chronicles chapter 16 through 18, and the Gospel of Luke chapter 2, verses 1 through 21. Clive Walsh here. May God richly bless you.